Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl. When her mother died, her father remarried. Her stepmother came to live in the house with her two daughters from her first marriage. These two girls did not like their new sister at all. They threw everything in her room into the attic. Far from treating her like a sister, they made her do all the housework. Even after the chores were done, she was not allowed to sit with them. In the evenings, she would stand alone in the kitchen in front of the dying stove, holding her hands to the ashes and trying to keep warm. So her stepsisters nicknamed her Cinderella. One day, the two sisters received an invitation to a ball at the palace. They both went crazy with excitement. Everyone knew that the prince wanted to marry them, and they thought, maybe he will choose one of us. You never know. The two sisters immediately set about making themselves as beautiful as possible. Unfortunately, it was a bit difficult, because unlike Cinderella, they were both quite ugly. On the evening of the ball, after the stepsisters had left, Cinderella sat in the kitchen and started to cry. "What's wrong? Why are you crying, Cinderella?" a woman's voice asked. "I wanted to go to the ball," Cinderella said, sobbing. "Then you will go," said the voice. Cinderella turned toward the voice she had heard and was stunned. A beautiful woman was standing next to her. "I am your fairy godmother," she said. "Now we have no time to lose. Bring me a pumpkin now." Cinderella brought a pumpkin. When the fairy godmother touched it with her magic wand, the pumpkin suddenly became a golden carriage. Now 6 mice. Cinderella found and brought 6 mice, which the fairy godmother immediately turned into horses. A rat, the coachman made him. Cinderella and 6 lizards. He turned them into 6 servants to run behind the carriage. Finally, it was Cinderella's turn. With a touch of the fairy wand, Cinderella's ragged, tattered clothes turned into a wonderful dress that would take your breath away. A pair of glass slippers sparkled on her feet. "Just one thing," said Piri. "You must be home by midnight. At 12 o'clock your dress will turn back into your old clothes, your carriage into a pumpkin, your horses into mice. You don't want the prince to see that, do you? Now go and have as much fun as you like." That night, Cinderella was the star of the ball. The ladies attending the ball, especially her two stepsisters, loved her dress and begged her to tell them the name of her dressmaker. The gentlemen all vied with each other to dance with her. The prince fell in love with her as soon as he saw her, and from then on no one was allowed to dance with her. Hour after hour, minute after minute, and just as the clock struck 12, Cinderella remembered that she had to be home. "Don't go!" the prince called after her, but Cinderella ran away without stopping for a moment. When she hit the street, her dress had changed back into her old clothes. All that was left was one of the glass slippers. She didn't know where she had lost the other one. That night, Cinderella cried herself to sleep. She thought her life would never again be as wonderful as that night. But it wasn't true. They found the other shoe on the stairs of the palace. The next morning, the prince went from house to house and showed the shoe to every young girl. "I cannot live," he said, "unless I find the beautiful owner of this shoe whom I met last night." Then he came to Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried on the shoe. It didn't fit. It didn't even fit their feet. But the prince insisted. He was struck by how beautiful Cinderella was. Of course, the shoe fit Cinderella like a mold. The prince knelt down and asked Cinderella to marry him, and the two stepsisters watched in anger and jealousy. Cinderella, of course, accepted the prince's proposal.